Hi there, this is Marcus Cox. This is a personal testimonial on some weight loss that I've been experiencing lately with a new product that is actually not even released yet. I managed to get some samples of that. My wife and I were recently at a convention in Los Angeles and managed to get these homeopathic drops that we've been taking every day since then. We've been on the product 15 days now. I have lost 21 pounds, and Sandra, my wonderful wife, has lost 10 pounds. I was a little we were a little smitten by the weight loss, and we wanted to know if it was dangerous and all the specifics on it. So we asked a friend of ours who's a medical doctor and also has a PhD in cellular biology to explain why we would be experiencing such rapid weight loss and how these drops work. And I have a recording of that call, and I'm going to play that for you now.
Dr. Organ, I just wanted to ask you about our weight loss drops.
Okay.
If you could give me some information about the validity of the drops and their origin and anything else you could tell me about it.
Okay. It's my understanding that they were tested for 2 years before ARIIX got them. They were formulated using homeopathic ingredients and tested on over 1,000 patients for safety and efficacy, and all of them lost weight. And my druthers are that ARIIX, since the company was only 7 or 8 months in pre-launch and only been 3 weeks now and since we launched, didn't do the original testing. We obviously did a small testing with selected independent representatives, and everybody lost weight. But it's my understanding that you're on 1,250 calories a day, and these drops taken before meals help metabolize about another 500 calories of fat in your body, and that's why you can go ahead and lose weight fairly quickly and safely. There appear to be no side effects whatsoever, where other diet programs sometimes leave you anxious and with palpitations. Nobody seems to be having any adverse side effects except losing weight.
Yeah, I have to agree with that because I've been doing it for 2 weeks, and I haven't felt anxious or anything that I normally would if I was cutting down on calories like that. And actually, I feel more stable. I feel more centered and more relaxed, and I'm able to sustain energetically throughout the day. So, yeah.
I suspect that what we will find is that the population that either is pre-diabetic or has metabolic syndrome, which is high blood sugars, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, that after they lose weight, they will find all of their numbers coming back to normal, and then not being diagnosed as being pre-diabetic or having metabolic syndrome. When you lose predominantly fat like that, I mean, you're talking 1,750 calories a day, of which almost a third of it is fat loss.
Wow.
That you're taking fat from your body. Fat is the storage form for energy. It's 9 calories per gram of fat. So you have a tremendous amount of energy in there. So when you metabolize that much fat, you're converting it into energy, and you're losing the weight, and you don't feel depleted. You don't feel racing. You don't have that sluggish feeling after you hit the wall. What you're doing is you're taking stored calories and you're getting rid of them, and obviously the weight loss is phenomenal. I mean, in the studies that we did in ARIIX, there were a few few representatives that lost only a minimal amount of weight, 10 or 15 pounds. And then there was one individual that lost 65 pounds in over 8 weeks. And obviously, that's phenomenal. But when I saw the pre-picture, and then saw him on stage at convention, I didn't know who he was. That's the difference.
That's huge.
It is.
It's huge. And you know what I have found amazing? I mean, this week, I have put on pants and shorts that I haven't been able to wear for years, and they fit, and they're actually getting loose. So
and you're going to find that.
Yeah.
Now, I talked to a mother and her daughter this morning from Vermont who were interested in weight loss, and I said the drops weren't available to the general public yet, not for another 4 or 6 weeks. But I said you need to prepare your body for this weight loss. When you tend to store excess fat, you may not be eating properly, so you need to make sure that you're getting the proper vitamins and minerals. And what's important about this is that 4 of them that are very important, vitamins A, D, E, and K, are fat soluble. So when those are the only 4 that we can store. The rest we have to consume every day. So when you have a built-up amount that's stored in fat, and you start rapidly losing the fat, you're losing your vitamin stores. Well, K is important for clotting. This is not the predominant K that is for bone health. That's vitamin K2, and a small amount of that is also stored in fat. Vitamin D obviously affects 3,000 of our 22,000 genes, so it's important for everything from calcium metabolism to boosting the immune system. That's fat soluble and stored in fat. Vitamin A, which helps with certain types of blindness, that's important. That's lost when you start losing the fat. And then the last one is vitamin E, which is important for memory, cholesterol, skin, eyes, as well as fat metabolism itself. When you start losing fat, you lose those stores of vitamin E. And there are like 5 forms of vitamin E that are important. Alpha tocopherol, which is one form, and gamma tocopherol. In conjunction with it, studies have shown that there's like a 25 to 40% decrease in certain cancers. So if you start losing that because you're losing the fat, then you have to make sure that you have adequate stores in the future. So I recommend taking a good nutritional that contains vitamins and minerals that are plant-based, food source, biologically available to the body, so that you can start doing that. Also, one of the causes of obesity is the fact that we don't eat properly. And when we're on a fast food diet, if you look at everything that's happened in the last 100,000 generations, the majority of those generations ate essentially a caveman diet. So you ate about 2% meat. Most of the time the meat ate you if it caught you. So we have, out of that 100,000 generations, the majority of them being caveman, 500 generations since the start of the industrial age, and 2 or 3 generations since the advent of fast food. Well, when you start eating fast food, it's not nutritious. It's filled with fat, and couple that on top of being on antibiotics for everything from viruses to things that you don't even need antibiotics for, and you start killing the normal bacteria in the GI system that help us with 80% of our immunity. So when you're anticipating going on a diet, you want to retrain your bowel, and that means that you need to be on a good probiotic. Well, ARIIX has a good probiotic in its Pure Nourish. So as in preparation for these drops, you start getting your body on a reduced calorie intake. You give the body food-based, biologically active vitamins and minerals, and you give it a tremendous slug of probiotics to replenish the normal bacteria that will help convert some of these nutrients into things that we need. They're called essential nutrients because the body can't make them. We rely on our bacteria. So that's what I recommended to this mother and daughter. And then right now I'm waiting for the drops to come in, and I'm on the Pure Nourish. I've lost about 8 pounds just in the last 3 or 4 weeks on Pure Nourish. but I've noticed a change in my GI system because of the probiotics. So
Wow.
that's what I recommend. And when you look at it, this is what Mother Nature intends our bodies to do. We have tremendous synergistic effect between the bacteria that normally grow in our bowel that are protected and what our body needs. So these bacteria help break down products so that we can absorb them in its biologically active form. Otherwise, we can't make them from the inside.
So, Ellen, this is Marcus. I've lost 20 pounds in 15 days, and that's been really hard for me to do at any time in my life. Do you know why it would happen so quickly?
Well, again, because you're on a reduced calorie diet, and you're taking something that's taking fat that you stored from previous meals, and you're burning it for energy, you don't feel hungry. It's as if you ate 1,750 calories a day instead of 1,250 calories a day. You're producing energy from 500 calories of fat that you stored in the past. So it's very easy to lose the weight because your body has a certain amount. Now, the big question that everybody's going to ask is, what happens when you come off the drops? Because you're not going to be on the drops the rest of your life. What will happen is that your body will be used to being on 1,250 calories a day, so that you can actually go up a little bit and still burn it without storing it. You change your eating habits, so your body will get used to it. We're still programmed the way we were 40,000 years ago, when the predominant foods that we got were fruits and vegetables and nuts and barks and saps and things like that. Our body's still trained that way. It takes thousands and thousands of years for our genes to change, and we've had 2 generations that are on McDonald's, and we're not trained for that at all. And then you get these companies that produce the pink slime. I mean, they finely textured treated meat. That's what they prefer to be called. It's not nutritious. So when you come off the drops, your body will have readjusted. You will have changed your fauna and flora in your GI system, where 80% of your immunity is formed, and you'll be better off, and the weight should not come back on.
Thank you so much. That's just such a. It's really good to know that. I had no idea. I mean, just watching the weight drop was enough for me, but I mean, hearing all the history and the scientific data and everything behind it, that's powerful information. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sure people are thinking, okay, I can't take the drops forever, so what's going to happen when I come off it? Am I going to regain all my weight? I don't think so, because you're retraining your body, and you'll be able to eat a little bit more, and by eating a little bit more, you'll still have the same number of calories to burn, but you won't be storing the excess calories as fat. Plus, you'll have all your stores, all your fat-soluble vitamins will still be there. You'll have whatever. You're always going to have some fat, and you'll have them stored there for future use.
Oh, that's great. I feel confident enough. I think I can lose 50 pounds.
I think it's possible, and I'm looking forward to when I get my drops, because I think I can go ahead and drop enough weight and bring me back to the point where I was before I had metabolic syndrome. I have metabolic syndrome. I mean, it's under excellent control. And when you look at my numbers, you think, well, you can't possibly have anything. But I want to be to the point where I don't have to worry anymore.
Yeah.
I got too much life to live.
The part about how it, I don't know, I wouldn't say reprograms the hypothalamus. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, the hypothalamus is the master control of the body. I was just teaching this to my anatomy students yesterday, as a matter of fact. The pituitary gland itself is the master gland, and so the hypothalamus actually directs either the secretion of or the non-secretion of certain endocrine hormones that are important for metabolism. For instance, when you get cold and you begin to shiver, the hypothalamus gives out signals so that we increase thyroid hormone to boost metabolism so we can generate heat. And then once that occurs, the negative feedback comes back to the hypothalamus and says, we're fine, you don't need to do this anymore. So the hypothalamic control of metabolism and weight is very important for digestion. The pancreas is primarily a digestive organ, but it's also an endocrine organ in terms of the fact that the difference between digestive juices and endocrine hormones is that the endocrine hormones are put directly into the bloodstream. It does not go through a duct where amylase to break down sugar or carbohydrates and lipase to break down fat occur from enzymes in the pancreas that go through ducts into the GI system. So the hypothalamus is the master control gland for all of metabolism.
And the drops, I guess they interact with the hypothalamus.
Right. They help reset what's called the set control for metabolism. It's like a thermostat. If you're comfortable at 70 degrees, you have the thermostat set at 70 degrees. When in the summertime, when the temperature gets warm in the house, the air conditioner comes on, and the temperature gradually falls down to a little bit below 70 degrees, where you've now passed the set point, so the thermostat turns off the air conditioner, and then the temperature begins to rise slightly until you get to that set point, and then it'll pass it, and then that's why the air conditioner cycles on and cycles off. So the hypothalamus does that too, based on the target organ and the negative feedback from the target organ. For instance, you get hungry, your stomach growls, you're producing a hormone called ghrelin, and ghrelin causes your stomach to growl, so your body knows that you need to eat. So it's because your blood sugar has dropped low, so you eat, and your blood sugar goes up as you begin to digest your food, and then your pancreas now puts out insulin to lower the blood sugar by causing the glucose to go into the cells for metabolism. So again, your blood sugars will begin to fall after you eat until you get hungry again. So you keep resetting your set point on your thermostat. So the hypothalamus is involved in almost everything. That's why they call it the master gland, or master control center.
I've really noticed on this taking the drops with the Pure Nourish and the Optimals that the gnawing hunger and I was almost afraid to go on this diet. 1,250 calories. It's like, oh my gosh, because of my eating habits. But since, I guess, after the first 3 days, it was pretty mellow, and now I'm in the zone. It's just we start out we're under 1,250, and we're pretty happy. It's pretty amazing.
I know. Your body will get used to what you give it by not having the big fluctuations in your blood sugar. Now, in preparation for Slendrex for me, just being on the Pure Nourish, I can go ahead and make my shake in the morning, and then I go well into the afternoon before I get hungry again because my blood sugars are stable, and I notice that my blood sugars are perfect in the morning when I get up. So I don't get the highs and lows that I used to get, and consequently I don't crave as much sugar as I used to. I'm finding even my drinking of soda has gone down considerably in anticipation of going on the drops. So, I'm very happy with an 8-pound weight loss in a little bit less than a month, but I expect it to pick up once I start on the drops and reset my hypothalamus.
So that's 8 pounds just on the Pure Nourish without the drops, huh?
Exactly, and calorie restriction. I'm sure I'm on more than 1,250 calories a day, maybe not much more, but I'm finding that my blood sugars are stable, and I'm not going from the highs to the lows and back again.
So, Dr. Organ, one more thing, actually, before you go. Can you tell me why the Restorix is an important piece in the weight loss, preparing for the weight loss program?
Marcus, that's a really good question. One other thing that gets stored, a number of things that get stored in fat as we accumulate through the years is toxins. Toxins are drugs, things like that are all stored in fat. So when you do any kind of weight loss program, you have to always worry about all of a sudden all of these toxins being released from the fat that you lose. So when you add Restorix to a weight loss preparation program, you help remove some of these toxins. So your blood levels and your GI levels go down, and then, of course, periodically you're going to have to re-equilibrate. And what that means is that as your levels of these toxins in your body go down, your fat will continue to lose some more, and the blood levels will go up temporarily, and Restorix will take care of that.
All right.
I hope that helps.
Very good. Yeah, thanks a lot. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.